Hello, BookTube. Sorry for the late Friday reads or weekly reads, but I was planning on doing this video later because I had planned to go to the library today. Unfortunately, due to the weather, I decided against going to the library. But I've been watching the weather this early evening, and since they cut back to regular programming, I decided to snatch this bit of time to do a quick Friday reads. I had to pick up a book real quick. I forgot exactly what I was supposed to be doing here. Okay. So I finished last Friday after I filmed my Friday reads video or weekly reads video. A View with a Grain of Sand by Wislawa Szymborska. Loved it. I loved it. Enjoyed it immensely. Yeah. Then on Saturday, I started and bailed on What Belongs to You by Garth Greenwell. I bailed pretty much at the same spot I bailed the first time I tried it. I think the book is just, I guess it's like he initially wants us to believe that, the narrator's relationship with this hustler, Mythos, but Greenwell never really why we should feel this obsession. He never really shows it. It's like, oh, after 4 encounters, I'm obsessed with him, or I'm in lust with him and think it's love or something, and it's just, you needed to show more, I think. So I think this one is definitely going to get purged when I get around to purging my library. Next, I read the next day, I went ahead and read some short stories in the Sword and Sorcery Anthology, which I'll get to in a second. But on Sunday, I started My Son's Story by Nadine Gordimer, and it took me most of the rest of the week. I finished it on Wednesday to read it, and I'm still not fond of the book. I really like Gordimer's dialogue style, this dash without any they saids or that. It's just dashes and having to rely on characterization and position to really ascertain who's speaking at any given time. And also like her her rendering of life under an repressive regime, which can tend to get quite silly, particularly in science fiction and fantasy, where it's like this really extreme sort of over-the-top evil. So, yeah. But the novel is a hot mess. It is a mess. The kind of narrator he's a little too audible, really, for the story to quite work. So, anyway, yeah. Next, in between What Belongs to You and My Son's Story, and then yesterday, I read some of the Sword and Sorcery Anthology, edited by David G. Hartwell and Jacob Wiesman. I read The Tower of the Elephant, which, again, is amazing. So far, the best story I've read. The Black God's Kiss by C.L. Moore, which I rather liked until the end. I thought that ending was just kind of like blew the entire story apart, and not in a good way. It just, because a defeated commander who hungers for revenge, who seeks out a means of revenge against her conqueror, her rapist. It is strongly implied that she was Jarell of Joyery was sexually assaulted. that her revenge, and then it's just she gets the power to avenge herself, and then she sort of breaks down because she actually, like that ending just does not work. And then I read The Unholy Grail by Fritz Leiber, which I think in a way had maybe somewhat of a similar problem that the Black God's Kiss had, that the Grey Mouser's pursuit of revenge, complicated by his love of a fellow apprentice. Yeah, I thought that was a bit of an intrusion. And then The Tale of Hawk by Paul Anderson, I think started quite strong, but yeah, I think sort of lagged as the story went on. So the next chance I get with this one will be The Caravan of Forgotten Dreams by Michael Moorcock, and we'll see how much further into this I can get. So today I had originally intended to go to the library and pick up Duck's Newbury Report. That was what I was planning on reading, but unfortunately with the weather and all of that, Duck's Newbury Report will be sometime in the future. So instead, I decided I was going to read Mythos by Stephen Fry, and I am loving this. This is phenomenal, just phenomenal. So far I'm at the beginning of the Titanomachy, the war between the gods who would eventually become the Olympians against Kronos and his brothers, and some of their children. And this is phenomenal. Stephen Fry's rendering of the Greek myths is amazing, just amazing. If you have not read this and you're into Greek mythology, definitely read this. You will not be disappointed. And after Mythos, I plan to read Imagined Life. A speculative journey among the exoplanets in search of intelligent aliens, ice creatures, and supergravity animals by James Trefil and Michael Summers. I picked this up in December, and looking forward to reading that. And if I finish that off, I will probably start if I'm lucky enough to finish Mythos and Imagine Life over the next few days, I'll probably read fantasy, and then try to sometime towards the end of this month get started on Big Wonderful Thing. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and sign off now. Have a good evening, and hopefully everyone stays safe. Thank you, BookTube.